How's my ability for finding essences lately on Barbarian? It's been alright overall. How's my ability for finding essences that involve the skill Cleave? Well, it's been pretty terrible, and that's why I haven't had any updated bar builds coming out. I really want to make use of Cleave with some of the essences that have come into the game since the last time I covered it, so I'm basically patiently waiting for those to drop. However, we do have some patch notes, so I'd be happy to cover those for you today. This is very interesting. Right off the bat, Fight to the End in the Wild Brawl. Now, this event was released over in the China region, and not everything that China gets makes it to other regions. However, in this case, they've chosen to actually implement it in other regions as well, so pretty excited for this. This event basically starts you at level 1. You go through, pick up gear, fight monsters, and fight other players, right? That's the most important part. You're split up into teams of 6, and there's some gameplay from the China regions that you can check out as well for this event. However, the write-up and description that they've done here is actually pretty spot on, at least from what I've seen in the gameplay so far. So, what we're going to do here is take a look at the remainder of the patch notes as well, and we'll talk a little bit about this Wild Brawl right off the front. So, here we have it, and a bunch of screenshots here, which really, like I said, that combined with the write-ups are pretty accurate here, again, from the gameplay that we've seen. So, enlist your most trusted companions and outlast enemy teams in the Wild Brawl event. In the China region, we actually saw that players were able to queue for this as a party. So you do have teams of 6, and I don't know if you can form a raid and queue with 6 people at once, but you can at least form a party, or at least you could in the other region from what I saw. Again, you start at level 1, you work together, you explore the map, fight enemies, level up. You can also open things like chests, find drops on the ground, equip these items similar to like you do in the Fractured Plane. There's even a quick equip option that will pop up on your screen if it has, the green arrow indicating that it's an improvement. So let's take a look at that. You get to choose your own loadout, I believe, as well, and then you'll go through and select which essences as well as set pieces you'd like to incorporate into your build. So this is really very dynamic, a little bit of RNG and luck tied to it, but overall should be a lot of fun for many players and a fairly balanced mode, right? There's obviously going to be some advantages from specific classes or specific compositions as this kind of gets out and players face off and see what works best and so forth. And again, something we saw with the Conqueror PvP mode, there's going to be some individuals that just PvP a whole lot more than others, are more inclined or reactive to the abilities, know them by the sound and audible cues and so forth. So sure, these players will probably do better, climb the leaderboards, which there will be a leaderboard for this. It actually just tracks your wins, if I'm correct here. Essentially, it doesn't track anything other than just total number of wins. So you could even climb this leaderboard with a lower win rate if you're just playing fairly enough and capable of getting some of these wins yourself. Regardless, excited for this. It's just something different to do, and I like all the different varying PvP modes. I've said so many times, I really think it would be amazing for Battlegrounds if they just had a rotating map system. Say you get the regular BG for a 10-week period, then you get the Conqueror or the Accursed Towers mode for a 10-week period, then perhaps you get this Wild Brawl for a 10-week period, and this would just be really nice and kind of make more players of varying resonance or secondary stats feel like they have a chance in certain different game modes, since the traditional Battleground is really kind of limited to high reso, or more importantly at this point, maybe high secondary stats. There's some information here on how you get to the Wild Brawl. Essentially, you just go and there'll be an NPC here, which is up by the original Battleground Queue Master. You can see it's just slightly to the southwest. Also the armory there if you want to change into a specific loadout for that. That'll teleport you down into the Dark Wood, which is where this event takes place. I think this is a great choice of location because honestly, other than bounties, or if the Forgotten Tower perhaps, there's really no other reason to go to the Dark Wood, right? There's really no popular circle farm spots here for open world. It's really nothing, and even the bounties you get there are fairly limited compared to some of the other zones. They're more repetitive than some of the other ones just because there seems to be fewer of them. Once the match is secured, players will decide on which area modes best for their hunt. Players can see the allies' selected teleport spot to make tactical decisions as to where to enter the Dark Wood. All this is really nice stuff. Okay, we don't really see this in any of the other modes at this point. So the fact that they're even thinking about this or implementing it is just fantastic to see. Makes you think that it's only going to improve over time as well. Now you can see here an example here. They've got some neck, some boots. Now this neck piece looks like the Isatar, even picking up a limited number of bandages. So you'll have to kind of, this is a blue neck, but if this were a green neck, which is available through here, you'll be able to kind of get different set pieces as well for your secondary gear pieces. Now, here's the mention here, set gear and normal gems equipped prior to battle will not be available in battle, but each player starts the match with legendary gear and legendary gems equipped at reduced power. Earn access to higher level gear by ranking up your equipped gear through slaying monsters and other players, or by finding treasure and looting defeated rivals for the legendary gear. So not perfectly balanced as perhaps many of us had hoped for, but at least there's some significant scaling enough that they're actually going to mention it here, because they're going to be in reduced power. I wish they'd kind of share that, although I'm sure we'll probably data mine this information on the first day just as people start tracking the numbers, or perhaps somebody actually truly data mines it and just comes out with the percentages that are there regardless. So after starting at level 1, kill increasingly formidable hellspawn and enemy players to increase your player rank and the power of your equipped gear and gems. As the wild hunt rages on, keep a keen eye out for chests that contain increasingly powerful items, as well as shrines. Okay, so again, just being really dynamic, adding to the RNG as well, and finding some of these things will certainly allow you to overpower players who might normally have higher statistics or resonance than you. Despite the rival factions and legions of hellish minions to contend with, the darkness grows ever near. Failing to escape its grasp will slowly drain your life until you are no more. So essentially this is just giving it a time limit so that everybody's going to essentially have to interact with each other and try to win, or you'll just kind of bleed out, so to speak. Here you get to see just an example of the final standing, as well as this leaderboard I was mentioning, in which you can see it's just the wins that are tracked. That's pretty much it for the system. So you start off level 1, you go in there, you have reduced power, find your items, loot things up, kill mobs, work together as a team, and hopefully come out triumphant. Now, next up is modifying legendary gem drop tables. This is something that was supposed to have gone out, and I believe it just got missed. And in fact, I think that Blizzard actually admitted this. So props to them for admitting that, and now having implemented something to alleviate this or fix this fairly quickly within the next update here. We were supposed to get these modified drop tables with the release of Blood Knight, I believe was the original dates, and I could be mistaken there. However, it didn't go in, and a lot of people were upset about that, rightfully so in my opinion. But now we're going to have the option here where you can enable modified drop table, which allow them to choose 12 of the 5-star legendary gems. And again, this is something that was supposed to have gone in previously, so you've probably heard this before. However, now we should actually be getting that. PC version leaving open beta. So exciting news, I guess. Been over a year of open beta for PC players. Essentially just a bundle available. I kind of was hoping for more than that, I guess. Not that I expect anything for it leaving open beta. We were told it was an open beta when we started. But this, to me, I don't know, I guess I would have preferred the more traditional 6 normal gems. Just something that we're kind of getting thrown or celebrating for, as opposed to being asked to purchase an additional bundle. So, I don't know, just my only gripe there, but not a huge deal. Returning events, this is going to be all clans on deck. And in conjunction with that, we have Shields of the Hearth limited time event. All clans on deck we've seen many times. I think most people are familiar with that. So Shields of the Hearth we've seen a couple times as well. And basically you just get daily tasks and you receive various rewards. Completing up enough of them gives you milestone rewards as well. Essentially just a little bit more to do in your daily grind when you log in. So hopefully I have some improved luck so that I can cover a few more barb builds over the next week or so with some of this stuff coming out. Next up is the feature updates, and first on the list is Helliquary Boss's Kill Assist, and essentially what this says is that after killing the boss for the first time each reset, you'll still receive additional rewards like scrap, gold, and items for enchanted dust. So this will be nice. Hopefully this allows more players to get help when they're looking for it, to clear these raids, fill out their raid, because this has become an issue, at least on our server cluster, where it's difficult to fill your raid group if you don't have a full warband that's participating in the raid that reset. Class change cooldown, and I've mentioned this in a previous video. This is going to be changed to a 24-hour period, much shorter than the previous 7-day duration. And this is because it received so much positive feedback during the release of Blood Knight. However, you're only going to have one lifetime revert. You can still revert daily up until the 9th, but after that, you'll be limited to that one lifetime revert. Some improvements to the notification center, and you can read through those at your leisure as well. Deeds of Valor updates. Now, they're adding 2 new additional badges, and what this means is 1 for Shadows, 1 for Immortals. And essentially, you need to have a perfect rating for both impact and loyalty, which they tell you is a score of 90 or above, and you can increase your impact rating the longer you're immortal or shadow, which means longer cycles, as well as by participating in the Rite of Exile. And you can improve your loyalty rating by remaining as part of the faction for over 90% of the reign. So if you're part of your clan for the entirety of the reign, you should almost be able to ensure that. Players still only need an exceptional rank for activity and participation. Character stat screen updates, and this is something that's been talked about on and off. I don't know if I've covered this in any real depth on the channel to this point. The character profile in the UI will now update to accurately reflect your stats when playing in Battlegrounds or other areas of the game where Strife debuff is active. So there's been a lot of people that have been interested in this to see exactly which stats are being affected. So this will be a nice quality of life thing. So I think a lot of people have interest in this, and hopefully we get a couple of videos out of this just providing more information in detail about some systems and how they work with Strife, and certain things that may be better or worse, depending if we see anything that's kind of shocking when this goes into effect. Immortals rewards increase. Becoming an immortal is one of the highest honors one can attain in Sanctuary, and we've heard your feedback that the access to power and rewards did not live up to the determination needed to become an immortal. I definitely agree with this. So they're saying at Bronze 1, the legendary crest available from Lieutenant is now available weekly as opposed to monthly. I think this is a fantastic change. This really kind of ramps it up, especially for free-to-play and low spenders, which is what I think should really be prioritized in becoming immortal. We want these players to have interest in going over to being immortal and getting some benefit out of it. This is kind of what drives a lot of the whole clan dynamic. And stay tuned for more overhauls like this in the future. So saying that they're definitely open to more improvements as well is nice to hear as well. But I think this is a great start. Cosmetics menu updates. It's going to now include an option to view cosmetics that are unavailable to your current class, helping you to see previously earned or purchased cosmetics while playing on a class that can't use it. Kind of a nice feature. I feel like it maybe should have been there for the whole time, but nice to see it is getting in there. Starfire Shard description update. It's been updated to now include the knockback effect, which was present on the gem, but previously missing from the description. The gem functionality remains the same. So again, and this has come up many times, people have asked, is this a bug? No, it's not a bug. It's definitely intended. Just the tooltip was poor. So they're not changing the way that this legendary gem works. They're just updating the tooltip to make it accurate. Iron Ben legendary gem PvP update. It was unexpectedly affected by the Strife debuff in PvP, providing less enemy movement reduction than in other areas of the game. This has now been fixed, so the enemy movement speed reduction up to 16% is the same across all game modes. It's actually nice. Ironbane is actually a very strong 1-star legendary gem, especially in PvP. So don't sleep on that gem if you're looking for 1-star options. Hiding Helm updates. Crystalline Echoes, Sacred Wiles, Children of Lilith, Bronze Wardens, Children of Inarius. So you now have the option to hide your helm on all these following gears, and I actually hope that they increase the number that you can do this to and potentially eventually allow you to hide it on everything, tell you the truth. Thanks for taking the time to watch, and have a great day.